back. We were just here.
Yeah, we were like yesterday. Yeah, that's right. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. But now we're going to talk hockey.
Life comes at you fast.
Hey, before you know it, we're going to be actually talking real hockey and not trying to fill space. Welcome to the PP1 podcast. This is apparently episode 107? 107 of our journey together. Myself and my good friend Ted Brady can be with us because you know what, we're not gonna be mean to the reason that he's there because maybe his teacher watches our show.
Because he's got a good reason.
Yeah, like he's trying to make something of himself. He's got some DCIT stuff. He wants to get past I don't podcast. Like I got bigger dreams. He's going to training camp tomorrow. Brady's going to training camp tomorrow, so
he's resting up for training camp.
Yeah, so he's he'll be here. Well, not tonight, but he'll be here. He's part of the show. He's us.
Yeah.
Anything change with you in 24 hours?
Oh man, changed my shirt, had a shower. Yeah, put in a day's worth of work.
Hey, way to contribute.
Yeah,
way to contribute.
Nothing crazy.
Do you see what I bought? Look what I bought. Look at this, folks. Spectrum. We keep asking. You should really sponsor our. Irish cream. Look at you. We were meant to be together. I got the vanilla latte ale.
That pack is just, man. I know that Spectrum isn't like this tiny little outfit, and I think they're owned by somebody bigger, but those guys are doing it right lately. Like for the last couple of years, this coffee barista pack, and they have birthday cake and
chocolate one.
They did the chocolate pack. You're right. The white chocolate, the dark chocolate, the
margarita ghosts.
Yeah, they're on fire lately, and it's just really good beer. It's really clean, easy drinking beer, which I like.
It's like walk-off home runs every single time.
It's a walk-off home run with a bat flip.
I do that with my dog now in the backyard. I've got this plastic bat, and we just play bat flip in the backyard. So I'll just pretend to home run, and then I just toss the bat because he doesn't play with a ball, which is really weird. But he likes sticks and ropes and stuff. So I just toss the bat across the yard. He runs and gets it, brings it back. So it's fun for both of us. I get to feel like I am flipping off a pitcher, and he's a dog, so he's just happy to play fetch more than anything.
When you bag your net stinger, you're gonna have to do a big bat flip. As long as it's against a team that should, start a fight.
Yeah, I think I have one career dinger, so
that's a tough league though. The pitching's tough in that league. Yeah. It's not like these. It's not this slow pitch thing in the air. Like you're getting 45, 55, 60 mile per hour pitches. It's pretty good.
And we got close on the weekend. We had our little mini tournament. That was a lot of fun. We went over 4, but it was a good weekend. I got pegged twice. I think I've been pegged one other time in slow pitch in, let's call it.
Did you say you got pegged in slow pitch? Is that a thing? Can you get pegged in slow pitch?
I got pegged twice this weekend.
How do you not get out of the way? You see it.
Because I'm a lefty. Because in our league, Orthodox, right? So it's a little.
Oh, that's not slow pitch though. That's different.
Softball, whatever.
If you're telling people you get pegged in slow pitch, I feel like that's an issue.
you're just too lazy to move.
Just move.
Get out of the way. But I'm a lefty, right? So in our league, the Orthodox, so it's not quite a full windmill, but twice, 2 different games, I got pegged, different pitchers, and I did my best to get out of the way, and I got hit. I even called it that game I told you was going to happen.
Yeah, you did say. Yeah.
And then
I feel like I get hit almost every game, but the last couple of games have been pretty lucky.
You got a broad physique. You present yourself in a way that you're going to hit them with a ball or they're going to hit you with the ball.
Well, you got to crowd the plate a little bit, right?
And you got to do that too. So
Yeah,
we had a good weekend. Now, when you drive to and from the games, because we're out in Lake Country for all you Kelowna peeps out there, do you go the back way, the back, back Glenmore way, or do you take the highway usually home?
So the first game I did, I was downtown, so I took the back way, going past the dump and stuff like that. But where I am now in Rutland, it's easier for me to just go Winfield.
So where I'm getting at this, because like anyone cares, like who cares how you get to a baseball game? Nobody does.
This is what happens when you're in the off season. You're really starving for Canucks talk. Yeah, when we talk about how we get to baseball games.
No, I got a story here. So not like my highway stories where there's a forklift on a truck or something like that.
Yeah, you really dragged that one on.
I did, and it worked out pretty well. It was a good couple of weeks with that. So there is like this farm that's on the way there, and on the sign it says samosas ice cream. And I'm thinking
the fruit stand by the airport.
Yeah. No, on the back way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm thinking, do I want to try this samosa ice cream? I don't know if I would like that. And I kept thinking about it the whole way, and I'm driving like samosa ice cream. Would I try it? Would it be good? And I'm not gonna lie, it took me like a few trips to finally realize that they sell both samosas and ice cream.
It's samosa ice cream.
It's two things, not one of a flavor.
It's what the problem is. The problem is that you don't ride to baseball with Christine, because she would have sorted you out on that. I think
she would just told me to shut up at that point. Just like, you're an idiot. But I'm glad I solved that. So thank you for coming on that quick journey with me. So samosa ice cream, if it exists, maybe I want to know about it. I don't know. I
think there's better things.
There probably is. Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah, just because both things are awesome doesn't mean they're awesome together.
That's true. Like a super salad, it's super salad. Or maybe
it's like peanut butter ice cream.
Yeah,
I'm here for that.
That works.
Mm-hmm. Peanut butter, hot sauce.
We could make an argument for that, and maybe in the right context, but not just by itself. Spicy. Well, hey, maybe there's a spicy peanut butter.
Yeah, maybe as spicy as Jack Hughes.
King of the segues over there. What do you think about Jack Hughes basically calling out the Canucks for being one of the worst teams in the league? Which, if you get past the face value, he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. But then basically that his brother deserves to be paid, and take away the minuses, and he's a good player. Blah blah blah. What did you think about that? What was your initial thought, and then bring it back? What do you think about it now?
Well, I thought it was kind of funny. He's like, it wasn't the most well-spoken interview, I didn't think, right? There was a lot, but then I have to remember that he's only like a 19 or 20-year-old kid. Yo, from Arkansas.
Brent.
What's up, Brent?
Ed. He's on tour again.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, eh? Not the most well-spoken guy. But he's like, everybody's talking about his defense, and that's going to happen when you play on the worst team in the league. But he could talk a little bit about his own game when it comes to defense and how good his team is in the league. So, although he's not wrong, he's also in the exact same boat as Quinn. But he is right that it's probably time to pay the man, and he should go back for the money that he's owed. And I
he's
believe
sticking up for his brother too, right? Like he wants to get paid.
I believe he's a premier defenseman, and obviously so does Jack. Quinn knows he is. So yeah, step up and pay the man. But ultimately, I'm okay with this. I'm fine with seeing players talk trash about other teams in the league, because there's not enough of that. The last thing I want to go on is, I think Jack Hughes is a boring enough interview as it is. I don't want to go on and see Jack Hughes just say boring hockey stuff either. All of a sudden, his interview goes from like a C to a B plus because he's got some shit to say in there, right? Some spice, some hot sauce, right?
Butter, yeah.
Yeah. So his flow's looking really good. He looks more like a grown up this year, which is nice for him. So yeah, man, I'm fine with it. You can talk shit. I think that's cool.
My immediate thought was, okay, listen up, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And then I gave myself about an hour, and I started scrolling through all the comments on Twitter, and everybody's like, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And I kept thinking, no, that's true. That is true. They do suck. So
yeah, it is funny that, talking about his defense, that happens on one of the worst teams in the league. He's kind of putting himself in that same boat too, right? But
they gave him they basically served up that grapefruit, right? Just chucked it right over the plate.
Yeah.
And he saw it and he's like, let's crush this.
Threw it up there, can of corn.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, good for him. You're right. I think the NHL does need a lot more personality, and we're getting a little bit more of that. Like, you know, Ovechkin's always kind of been one of those guys. You know, the Tkachuk brothers, they bring it. That's for sure.
The what brothers?
The Tkachuk brothers, Brady and Matthew.
Have you always called them Tkachuk?
Tkachuk is a T.
It's a Tkachuk.
Are you a teacher?
Hey, no, I'm more of a K. Sure.
Stick to podcasts. Jack, whatever.
Oh boy.
Screw you. Get out of here. Go teach someone else. Jeez. But yeah, there are a lot. No, but I'm a teacher and Ryan is wrong. All right. You know what? That's fine. That's good. That's good.
Thank you, Steve.
You're paying attention. Thank you for coming by. We appreciate it. Also, co-host of the.
You know, I am not the strongest grammatical person when it comes. So it's tough for me to criticize somebody on spelling, but this was a verbal thing and you're wrong. So
yeah, I did audioize that. Audiolize. Teacher, can you help me out there? So yeah. Speaking of guys that you know, probably going to rub you the wrong way, like Steve has just right now. Detroit Red Wings superstar Tyler Bertuzzi,
super duper star,
super duper. Yeah, he's not going to get the vax. He's not getting the jab. He says today, and basically, anytime they go to Canada, he's got to hang back in Detroit, Michigan. He will be forfeiting $450,000 this season if he follows through with what he's saying. Let's just put that out there for the world. I'm not going to tell you what to do, and you are entitled to your beliefs and your opinion on everything that has gone on in this last almost 2 years. But you know, by you forfeiting the $450,000 because you know you feel that whatever injustice or whatever is being done there, I don't know.
Whatever the reason,
I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, again, totally entitled, but you know, you're a privileged athlete, and I suppose that, you know, I know the Canucks. Apparently, there was a tweet today, a comment that not everyone or most of the team, they said, was willing, or what did they say? Was willing to get a vaccine. So it sounds like there were some that were against it, but still got it. Just saying.
We all know some of those people, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I know people that have gotten this, and I know people that haven't, or people that haven't been jabbed, or if you will. But I don't know. I saw that today. I thought, yeah, it's now, because everything, it's just so public, right? Like, yeah, we're getting this instantly. We've all got an opinion on it. I just think, like, you're in a position that, you know, wouldn't we all like this to end? And do you really think that? And again, I guess it doesn't matter if you play professional hockey or you know, you're a teacher or you're a salesman or whatever. But I don't know. Wouldn't we like this to be over with? Maybe
it's really weird, right? We're in a strange time, and good job speaking for 2 minutes and somehow not offending anybody. So
give me 2.5.
Yeah. We're in a weird time, right? Where, I mean, what are the things we're not supposed to talk about, like politics, religion, and before that it was like vaccines, right? We didn't talk about vaccines. So, well, most people are wrong on food takes. That's how that goes. But it's almost like if you were voting, nobody would ever know, because nobody ever needed to know who you voted for. So you'd never get into arguments if you didn't ever have to talk about it. But the difference between vaccinations, and it's this big divide, right? It's very, you know, it's very separating of the two. It's very polarizing. So when you have a vaccination or you don't have a vaccination, it almost becomes public knowledge almost immediately. You can usually tell by talking to somebody pretty quickly whether they're going to be vaccinated or not. Sometimes, I can't go to a place, or I'm in or I'm out or whatever, right? So it's almost like you've now announced to the world who you voted for, and then instantly everybody has that opinion.
Yeah.
So this whole thing with Tyler Bertuzzi, I know there was some tweets out there earlier today about Travis Hamonic.
Yep.
Hamonic saying he's not going to be at camp. No, in the beginning, no reasons were given why he wasn't going to be there, not attending camp, blah, 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 all these things. And it was like, Kyle, we all know Kyle. The big thing was, how do you say you're not vaccinated without saying you're not vaccinated? It's kind of the thing, right? So props to him. Ultimately, it sounds like he is going to be at camp. So that means he's probably getting the jab, which means whether he wanted it or not, or we don't really know because not everything has to be public knowledge, but it sounds like he's going to be vaccinated. So that might not ring true. But in terms of Bertuzzi, he's very open about the fact that he's not getting the shot.
Yeah. And again, you're entitled to that, right? Yeah,
whatever. I don't really, I'm looking at it from a hockey perspective. And if I'm being honest, and I'm the Detroit Red Wings, I'm annoyed that he's not getting shot because he's only going to be able to play in a certain amount of games, right? I mean, fuck the $400,000. That's a whole thing. How are you helping or hurting your team? We're talking about X number of Canadian teams, and we're talking about how many X number of games throughout the course of the year. And I automatically have to slate you off for those games. That has nothing to do with the fact of the games that you can go throughout a season with being injured or just being a regular sick or anything like that.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm paying you, I know that I'm lopping that off the payroll. It's almost like you're hurting the team in that sense. That spot can be taken by a player who's going to fill. Tyler Bertuzzi is a very good player.
Yeah.
And I think people would love to have him on the team. But at a certain point, I don't know what professional franchise is going to be okay with saying, I can't play with X amount of games. I think it was was it Ryan Clark, Pittsburgh Steelers, couldn't play in Denver because the altitude was too high.
Sure.
And it would thin his blood or whatever. He was having some oxygen. I can't remember what the deal was, but he couldn't play in Denver. That's one game, however many times out of a few years that you would play in Denver. It wasn't a big deal, but you're literally saying, I'm not making any game in Canada.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a vaccination. And that's hurting the team in a certain perspective. And I'm moving away from the vaccination stuff and all the however you feel about it. It's just a team thing at this point, and I feel like you're hurting a team at that.
I mean, if it was golf, if it was boxing, if it was UFC or an individual sport, bowling, whatever it happens to be, or Olympic sports, what have you, those are all areas where you can make that decision, and you're affecting you.
Yeah. How many games against Canadian teams do you play if you're Detroit?
Well, you're in the Eastern Conference, right? So you're going to have Toronto, and I think they're in Toronto's. Are they in Toronto's division?
I can't remember.
Anyway, so I mean, enough. You got
enough. 15 games.
Yeah.
15 games, you can wipe him off the season for a very important player to your roster that you need.
And now you're
just not going to be there.
And there's no injuries. They're just hey, we're going to pluck another guy in the lineup. What if it comes down to, I mean, not like it will, but what if it came down to a playoff run this year?
What if it did? And at what point does he decide that what are his thoughts on the vaccine? Is he dead set against it, or is he going to be when it's more important, maybe I'll get the shot?
How many guys have said that though? How many guys have said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to get it?
Is this a hill that you're gonna die on? Right? I mean,
it might be
not just figuratively, obviously, right? But I mean, what happens if you go Canadian teams first two rounds? Say they get Montreal and Toronto in back-to-back rounds. Are you really not going to have Tyler Bertuzzi on your roster for two full rounds?
It would have to be Toronto then.
If he's making such a big statement about the fact about not getting a shot, then what's the difference of saying, oh, my team's in the playoffs now. Now it's more important. Now I'll get the shot.
Yeah, it's selfish. At that point, then when
it's selfish. Yeah, you're picking and choosing when it's not okay.
For sure.
So you're throwing your fundamentals out the window at that point. You can't be both. I feel like, you know what I mean.
It's one or the other for sure. So that was fun. Training camp started today.
Yeah, I haven't. It's been a busy day. I haven't followed up on anything that's gone on in camp. So if you've got some news to share, I love hearing. I did hear that the Canucks did sign Alex Chason to a pro tryout contract.
True story.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how he's doing. I think he's obviously he's an NHL player. I haven't looked at the analytics on Chason yet.
The dude.
I do notice him. I did notice him when he was playing in in Edmonton. So, but I don't really know about what kind of player that is. I'm not sure if he moves the needle for me. That's probably just a warm body veteran player in camp. Maybe he pulls a Jack Skilly and chews through a rope. Who knows?
It could happen. I mean, look at Brendan Morrison, Owen Nolan's probably a bad example.
But that was fun, right? I mean, yeah.
I loved it.
I'm all for inviting guys like Owen Nolan and
he pointed at the net every single time. I'm like, you got to stop. You got to stop.
Can't always call your shot.
Yeah. Like, this is training camp. You may score on every shot here.
Yeah.
On that team. Oh, man, maybe not.
So who else? Upshaw. There's been some guys, right?
Yeah, Scotty Upshaw.
Some
that was actually
players.
It's too bad Scotty Upshaw didn't actually sign with the Canucks with that year. Because he had a good camp, did he not?
Had a good what, sorry?
He had a good training camp, good preseason that year, did he not?
Yeah, I think he was okay, but there was just probably younger, maybe not cheaper, but younger guys with, considerably more potential. And I can't even remember who was on the roster back then. Like what year was that?
Michael Chaput or
Jason Megna. I mean, we would have got to see Jason Megna if it wasn't for Owen Nolan making that squad. I don't know if that was the same squad, but you know what I'm saying.
Which means then we would never have had Pettersson and Hughes because we wouldn't have sucked as bad as we did. So really, you're welcome.
That's like a Marvel what if thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. The full circle. So yeah, these pro tryouts. I mean, I know not every team has these pro tryouts because some teams just don't need these guys, right? Because they've got enough bodies. But I don't know. It doesn't move the needle for me a whole lot. What moves the needle is that they haven't signed Pettersson and Hughes yet. Mm-hmm. And as that's going on, we're seeing Kirill Kaprizov get signed to what is a 5x9 or 9x5? Yeah, $45 million for a guy that's done not a lot in the league. But I mean, great player, and hey, maybe he is worth all that money. It just seems like guys are getting money.
Define a lot, though. I mean, how many years has Kaprizov been in the league? I mean, he's had one really good year, and now his contract's ready to.
He's an older rookie. He was an older rookie, but
so now he's ready for a new contract. It doesn't matter. He's put up the workload. It's what have you done for me lately league and sport, just like sports is in general.
Yeah.
And what have you done for me lately, Pettersson and Hughes? Pretty much everything. So why haven't we signed them?
Yeah. And you look at who else just got signed too. There's Rasmus Dahlin just got signed. That was a tidy little piece of business there. He got I think he got a 3-year, $15 million deal, something like that.
Right. A bridge deal.
Yeah. But I mean, again, we're not comparing Rasmus Dahlin to Quinn Hughes, but there's starting to be these comparable contracts that, and yes, I know the stats on Pettersson and Hughes there aren't really true comparables because of what they've done analytically and all the very, very, very fancy stats and all the descriptive stats. Like, these are two really impressive players. So
they're brilliant. Yeah.
I get the reason. I get it, but
I don't get it.
I've been I get why they're holding out and why they want to get paid what they deserve. I'm subscribing to your hot take. I don't even think it's hot anymore.
It's not hot. No,
I'm counting the days till they actually make a trade. And I mean, Tanner Pearson, that's enough money to move off the books. And I mean, are you losing enough in Tanner Pearson that would actually hurt? Like, you've got enough guys that could potentially fill, like, not his spot, but you might be able to do with two guys for a lot cheaper, and maybe that moves a guy like Podkolzin a little bit up the depth chart. Maybe he gets a little bit more of a showing than he might have gotten otherwise. Maybe that means Will Lockwood gets a little bit more of, like, there's guys that are there, and if
there's guys that aren't there, you can easily go and find yourself an Alex Chason that can fill in the bottom six,
and that's where he is, right? So, I mean, a Zach McEwen, even, like, they've got Giuseppe's here, so they've got some guys in there that can. I mean, Matthew Highmore. These aren't guys that you're going to see in a top six. I'm just looking at the training camp roster here, or a Bailey even.
Yeah.
There's guys that are available, and I think, what would you rather have, honestly? Would you rather have proper deals for Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson for let's say they're 8-year deals or 9-year deals, whatever, and they get paid what they're supposed to get paid. So when 3 years down the line comes and they're absolutely slaying it, and now $9 million is a steal,
Yeah.
you're thrilled. And then you get to see these other guys progress in other spots, and you start building that, lunch bucket crew. Or would you rather have a Tanner Pearson that is, again, a capable winger in that middle six, and now you're struggling to figure out, what do we do? How do we get these guys signed? How do we get them into training camp?
Yeah.
Get them their reps, get them the preseason. It just there is
you're always starting behind when you miss the preseason. And I wish that Brady was here for these conferences, because I always like having Brady, because he seems like he's forever the optimist. He's always like, they're gonna get it done, like it's cool, they're close, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a bridge deal is not that bad. I want to poo-poo all over every bridge deal that I hear. I think a bridge deal is the worst idea possible.
It's a cop-out. Like, well, we'll give you some money, but you're gonna need
to give you way more money later.
We're gonna you're gonna compromise because we need you to, not the other way around. Like, oh, you either sign me or I'm out of here, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, you know what, Vancouver Canucks, you're playing with fire right now. I think that you only luck into franchise players so few and far between, right? And you've got two. Most teams, like every team's got a franchise guy, right? This you have two franchise players here, right? I mean, it was like when Vancouver had Luongo and the Twins. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's so lucky. So why are you screwing around with it? You're playing with fire, right? It's already, I feel like already the relationship has been somewhat soured because of all this stuff that we're going through. Now you're going into camp without your two best players, your two lead by example players, whether they have letters on their jerseys or not. Yeah. Talking about your best offensive forward, probably your best defensive forward.
Yeah.
You're talking about your number one defender, a guy that's gonna carry the mail for you, right? And literally is the straw that stirs the drink on the power play. Oh yeah. Pettersson included. So I just don't understand why we're waiting. If it's a difference of a couple $1 million, then see you later, whoever it is on the roster that needs to go, because there's two players that are more important than any of them. And I can't see any single player on this roster that's affecting them from a standpoint of dollars to say that it's okay to sour a relationship or make this contract drag on any longer.
You've got, Tyler Mott is going to start the season or the preseason injured, it looks like. There's a Zach McEwen. Like, there's guys that, yes, I'd like to see in this lineup, but I'm also not, hitching myself to them either.
Whatever. Like again, we're talking. Sorry to interrupt, but we're talking about fucking players like Tanner Pearson and fucking Tucker Poolman, and even Tyler Mott probably makes a little bit more money than he should. We already walked down this avenue once before with Roussel. Mm-hmm. And Roussel, we liked his contract until he wasn't playing anymore, and all of a sudden it wasn't a good contract, right? These types of guys that live in the $3 million to $1 million contract ratio are so replaceable by any type of player on the fucking Dita Sheppy could walk in right now and fill a role on this roster and bump everybody up one, and it would be okay. And you wouldn't really notice the difference that much of a fall off from losing a guy like Tanner Pearson, who I like. Let's be clear on this.
Like his WAR, like you bring up WAR, right? That's the big kind of stat, right?
Yeah, a replacement level player.
But if you drop a little bit, are you really going to be dropping that much? Are you really going to be that much worse off by seeing a guy like him walk when you have two fully capable superstars that are now locked in and happy? And let me do a little aside here. So it will eventually happen. I don't know when, but they will sign both of these guys.
Like, we're not doubting that it's going to get signed. It's just that it's not good practice, I think, right?
But you get these deals done, and hopefully it's the right deal and it's not the compromising deal, because there is a happiness part of it. Like, these guys have earned their keep, and they're going to be playing on a team that is still working on rising up the ladder a little bit. So they're not a contender quite yet. They're hoping to make the playoffs and make a little bit of noise. But don't you want these guys happy? Don't you want your core of guys to be like, yeah, man, let's kill it this year. Time to go. We all got paid, Everybody's ready to rock. Like, it's not their fault that they came in when they did. You need to figure it out. That is your job to figure it out. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll go back to the Gillis era contract. I mean, that there was a lot of goods and bads in the Gillis era with how the team was managed, particularly when it came to drafting prospects. It wasn't that great, but you can never fault those guys about how they managed the contracts, he and Gilman. Totally. And in the 11th hour, when the Twins needed to be locked up, it was a plane ride to Sweden, and they made sure that it got done. And they weren't going to let something like $1 million separate them. And if we're less than $1 million off, I feel like you've been negotiating this long, you should be within $1 million. You make it happen. If we're further than $1 million apart on this whole thing, then there's some major issues that are going on.
Okay, who would you rather have? Pedersen, Hughes, and Bobby Ryan?
Or, that was really weird. Why Bobby Ryan?
I'm just looking at cap friendly here for UFAs.
Okay.
Again, I'm bringing up another winger you can sign on the cheap. Or would you rather be in this exact position right now and be fully committed to Tanner Pearson? And I think nothing against Tanner Pearson, and I think
we like Tanner Pearson,
but there's the guy that you can move. There's a contract that you can move away from, and it doesn't have to burden you anymore because he is making a fair bit of change, and basically you are praying that he fulfills that contract to the utmost possibility.
Yeah, the answer is easy, Ryan.
You take a flyer. You can have a $1 to $2 million flyer on a guy that scores. He can still score, and he's going to be on a team that probably wouldn't mind having a bit of fun. That's one guy. That's one guy.
Yeah, the answer is easy. It's whatever scenario has Pedersen and roster on your Pedersen and Hughes on your roster right now, and not at bridge deals.
Yeah,
full blown deals.
You had a tweet from Earth there that you saw just before this.
Oh, yeah. So it's still on the same thing. So Ifran Ghaffar, Benning and Green say that they're disappointed that 40 and 33 are not here for camp. But Benning adds that they aren't far apart in negotiations, but will continue to work towards hopefully finding a deal soon. If we're not far, what the fuck is the problem?
Let's get it done. Let's get it done by the time I wake up. Honestly, by the time that you listen to this show, maybe it's Thursday morning. Maybe this is all moot.
Yeah, these boys, man, they're going to remember this stuff when it comes time to a new contract negotiation, however many years down the road, and they remember how difficult it was. The only silver lining is that these people won't be here in this management group.
Yeah, they won't be
by the time this road. I mean, I'm not saying silver lining, saying I want them to go, whatever. That's like a whole nother ball around. But over the course of time, an expiration date on a GM is not that long. So
totally. I forgot to bring this up at the beginning here. We are obviously part of the Dean Blundell Network. Thanks for having us, Dean. Last night's show, That Helps No One Fantasy Cast, big success.
Banger.
Make sure you tune in every Tuesday night at 9:00 because that's when you guys are done dodgeball. So
there's like 1,000 views in like 24 hours. I think that's pretty good. We didn't pump it. We didn't tell anybody that it was going on. We just should have dropped it, threw some content into the universe, and away it went.
It was so much fun. So make sure you guys are tuning on to that. Another show as well as the Ball Hawks podcast. They just launched. Basically, they're every Sunday, right? So they're recording and launched Monday morning, I guess. Those guys are absolutely killing it. They had a big weekend too. It's NFL season. If you're not tuning into their podcast or their live show during football season, like you're missing out. Third Down segment, must watch, must listen. I actually caught it late. I was doing some other stuff and put it on. I got some new earbuds for my birthday. Some Lenovo earbuds. They're pretty awesome.
Have you seen this weird trend going around with earbuds?
I've seen the milk crate thing. That's
right. So it's like the milk crate thing, but it's probably more stupid. Yeah. It's like, so high school kids.
Yeah.
They'll quickly walk up, and if you were sitting there, I would reach over and I would take it out of your ear, pop it in my mouth, and then swallow it like a pill.
Like it literally will swallow it.
Oh yeah. No joke. No, it's a real thing.
That seems not safe.
It seems not safe.
That's not safe. No, it doesn't.
It's also incredibly mean
and jerky, and yeah, I don't like that. I don't like this viral. I don't like it.
That's like I would say that it's right up there with Tide Pods, but that's worse somehow.
I don't like electronics.
And same with it. Was it spoonful of cinnamon? That's a bad one.
But can you imagine? So these are all Bluetooth, these things, right?
Yeah, hold it up.
So in the battery, well, they're not out here.
They're gone.
I'm downstairs.
Rocket ate it.
Yeah, but imagine like it's in your belly and like all of a sudden it's beeping, like you need to charge it, like beep, beep. That would be
funny. Yeah.
I mean,
for some reason, I think it would just like blast out before.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So poo pods. There you go.
Poo pods.
Yeah. Marketing term. So anyway, check us out. Check everybody else out. And obviously, our good partner just talked to Kevin this morning from Summer Skates.
What a good dude.
Can you do the thing?
Mm.
Can you do the thing? Thank you. Thank you so much. Our good friends at Summer Skates. So make sure you are checking them out. Let's put up our little promo. Make sure you enter. You got to get a tweet or something out tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
And win yourself a 3-for-1 deal from Summer Skates. I've got way too many pairs now. I also still have tons of the Black PP1 podcast ones. I have a couple to give away, and I also have ones for sale. So I prefer that you buy some, but I'm also going to be giving some away. I got a couple double X pairs in the black. So it's like a size 12, which is a normal man size. So
normal. It's a grown-up size.
It's grown-up size, yeah. Not like, is it Chris's little children feet? Did you see his? Got like size 8. Size like 8 men's. Those are like children's feet. My kids have size 8.
That's why he's quicker in the cone drill than you.
That's true. He did, but I won the whole thing, so it doesn't matter. You know what? It's about the championship. Who cares if he scored a goal? I won.
Yeah.
Whatever. 3-1. I still win. So anyway, check those guys out. Check out Summer Skates. And in the middle, yeah, obviously like and subscribe to our podcast, people, like, and our show. Come check us out every week. This is a lot of fun. We enjoy when you guys show up because it makes it a little bit more fun. Speaking of fun, it finally came. I haven't purchased it yet, but it is finally here. The Deadpool Pavel Bure rollerblades card. Did you click on the link in our rundown? Go to the rundown. Go to the rundown.
I don't usually click on your link, but okay, that's pretty cool.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna do a little shared screeny dealy.
It's only $1.69. That's
cheap. So there's player's choice. They've got one. Share screen. Let's do this. Share. Here we go. They've got like a Bure and
whoa.
You guys seen this? Look at that.
Yeah, so what do they need to do? Are they going to do like a Val Bure and Pavel Bure one where it'll be like Deadpool and what's the other chick? The one that didn't die from X Factor?
Geez. Yeah, now I don't. I'm good enough, but I'm not great.
The one that's lucky?
I can't remember. This isn't a Marvel show. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
But my question was, if is there a card in any sport that you'd like to see a Marvel or DC character or any fictional character recreate?
Yeah. So I have one actually.
Maybe a picture, maybe not a card, but maybe like a picture, like Bo Jackson, but instead of Bo Jackson, it's like
like the Bo Jackson with like the shoulder pads and like the bat over his back. Maybe it could be like the Hulk, right?
Like Groot. Maybe not Groot.
I'm just looking for it now.
Because like for me, that one, once I saw this has kind of I've been waiting for that for like, I don't know, 8-9 months, and it's finally showed up. So, I mean, Deadpool, obviously Ryan Reynolds, huge Canucks fan.
It'd probably be this one here. I don't know if I can share screen. I'll share screen.
I'm gonna get this banner off here. Thanks so much.
It'd probably be this one here. Can you see it?
I can. Let's add to stream.
Yeah, it would be the Jamie Leach bubblegum card.
Oh, so who would you have then?
I don't know. There's so many. Maybe the Winter Soldier would be a good one.
That's good.
Maybe maybe something out of Wakanda would be cool. Maybe like a Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think this is not a good player.
No, but it's a good card.
But this is a great card. I remember this card. It's an all timer for me. Just the bubblegum, right? I mean, such a cool card. That would be the one for me. I think some sort of Marvel version of the bubblegum card would be pretty rad. I think
like the Ken Griffey, where he's got the backwards hat on, kind of thing.
Yeah, home run derby Ken Griffey would be rad.
With I don't know, Iron Man.
Yeah, sure.
No,
I'm not picky, but the Deadpool thing is the perfect idea. So yeah, I'd be all over it. How about you?
Like I said, for me that one just it hits. It's so iconic anyway. But I think if you're gonna go even like a pitcher, yeah, like the Bo Jackson one, I think with like the Hulk, I think would be super cool.
Yeah, it would be rad.
And our buddy Matt would love that. Remember that shirt we got him?
It's because like a dual sport athlete, right? You got like Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
I think it works.
Yeah.
I think that works. Maybe you
sure.
guys have an idea. Somebody, if you're watching, give us an idea for a card. Jim Houston retired.
Crazy.
Like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Now,
crazy.
I had some initial thoughts, and I'm going to probably keep those to myself. But
I have some initial worries.
Some worries?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what are your worries? Is the broadcasting world in trouble because he's gone?
Well, are the Canucks in trouble because he's gone now? Because, I mean, Jim Houston left.
But he hadn't called really a lot of Canucks games in the last few years. He's been doing
league. No, but Jim Houston left and he got promoted, and then we brought up John Shorthouse, and Shorthouse is amazing too. And like, what happens now that Houston is gone? There's a vacant spot in Toronto. Does that mean Shorty gets the call?
I think they're saying.
I mean, I like Brendan Batchelor. Yeah, and I think he's very good too. But
you could do it.
Yeah, I don't want to see Shorty go. And
I think Cuthbert's with Sportsnet now, though. So he basically circled back from TSN.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's kind of looped back in there. But yeah, maybe you see because Shorty's done some games during the playoffs, I think too, didn't he? Or maybe not playoffs, but I know he's definitely playoffs. I know Cheech has obviously he does a lot of Calgary stuff over the season.
Cheech does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He does not a lot, but he does a handful of color.
I guess what I always miss out on the fact is that if there's a Flames game on and it's anybody other than Vancouver that they're playing against, I'm just not watching that shit.
You know what though? You know it's fair. Rick Ball. I'm on the ball.
Or
that's on the ball. I'm Rick Ball.
Yeah.
He does the Flames game, so I'll give him credit because he's a great announcer. I love listening.
He's good. I love him.
And this is the new running joke. Ted's going pee. So, I'm
getting a refill. Rick Ball he came in and did because he was on sports radio in Kelowna.
He was, yeah, AM 1150.
AM 1150. So he came in and did like a workshop. Yeah, he did a workshop in our school, and he did the whole that's on the ball.
And then you waited.
I'm Rick Ball, right? Yeah, and it was like the longest pause too. And we were like,
"Are you gonna?" Oh no! Wait, now? No, now?
Yeah, a great guy, super good guy,
and super knowledgeable. And he's called he's done CFL, NHL, obviously, the Rockets. He's done very well versed in sport. He did the Okanagan Sun for a time being, but those guys.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's the one right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it. He's covered a lot. So we weren't actually talking about Rick Ball, but again, great guy.
Yeah, Jim Houston, is he going to be remembered more as a Leafs broadcaster or a Canucks broadcaster?
I watched
in the hockey world.
I watched a handful of his highlight reels last night because I mean he has them, and most of what you hear, even on Sportsnet and now obviously national show now, most of them were Canucks calls. The Luongos are iconic. The Kluche ones were iconic. It always seems that anything monumental with the Sedins was Jim Houston. A lot of people forget he called some of the greatest baseball games ever for the Blue Jays in the early 90s. We watched a little 5-minute kind of documentary on Wamco. This was you had Devon White, you had Alomar, Molitor, Carter, and Olerud, and it was just a little quick thing. This was last year.
Oh man,
during COVID there. It's a little quick 5-minute snippet. So good.
You wanna look up some fun numbers, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah,
go back and like just re-look up at how good John Olerud actually was.
he was a 400 average.
Yeah,
400.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's not healthy. And he was 5th. Like, dude, batted 5th.
Yeah.
This is a hockey show, but come on, John Olerud, 400. Like, that's just unhealthy. Like, that's not even fair. Like, you can't even put points per game in the same kind of thing. Like, this guy.
Yeah, everybody remembers you for that helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you want to do something cool, you got to wear like if you're in the NHL, you got to wear like the ugly bucket, right? People know you for the bucket.
The Jofa.
Yeah.
Basically, but in a different way. So, yeah, Jim Houston, I would say definitely for the Canucks is going to be what he's remembered for. The Kluche ones, those hung around because basically when the stick jerseys came out, remember when that happened in like 2003 and the vintage hockey started again?
Yeah.
Great save, Kluche. And then our favorite, Roberto Luongo. There's just so many of them, like Hockey Night in Canada, Saturday Night versus Sidney Crosby, or the Blackhawks. The iconic. He didn't do Slay the Dragon in that game, but it's a great day for an exorcism. He says.
Yeah, great day for an exorcism. I think my favorite Jim Hughesonism. Is that right? Jim Hughesonism.
Is Steve there? Steve, is that a?
My favorite Jim Hughesonism.
Yeah, got it.
It's got to be you take it, I got it. And it always fits so good. It was just like a weird drop pass, a weird whatever pass, and coming out of the neutral zone, and you take it, I got it.
Yeah, just perfect, just perfect. So Jim Houston, well done. We obviously love you. Apparently, I was chatting with my dad. He lives in Kelowna.
Oh, I can't believe we haven't seen him.
And exactly, like I'm gonna start.
I can't believe we don't hang out at the same places. That's weird.
And that sounds stupid to say, but in Kelowna, like these things happen a lot. Like, you know how many times people are like, oh yeah, I saw Joe McGinley at Best Buy, or I saw so and so at Home Depot, or I see these guys at hockey events. That's it. I never see them in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Tyler Myers one time driving past a McDonald's in Glenmore.
It was like we had when Vern was on, right?
Yeah,
Vern Fiddler.
Yeah,
and he says he can't go anywhere without people giving him the BX face, right? And he loves it. He thinks it's great.
It is great. Like that's one of those things no one will forget. And as soon as it comes up, everybody, you're right back there. Exactly. It was so funny. So we got through that. We got through obviously, like I said, training camp has started, which is super, super exciting. And because we haven't been in like true hockey mode in so long, somehow we've gotten through a summer here, which is wild. But there's a game on Sunday. They play the Kraken on Sunday.
Yeah, weird.
Like hockey, like legit hockey with lines. And
what time is that game on at? Like 7 o'clock?
I don't know. It'll compete with Sunday Night Football. So I'll be like randomly checking my phone while I'm watching Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I'll be watching the Browns game. You and I have a baseball game on Sunday as well, 2 o'clock.
That's true. We do. Looking forward to that.
So that'll be good. Maybe we get to see Peyton and Eli on a Sunday Night Football game.
Are they? I thought they were just doing Monday Night Football.
It's probably just Monday night, but
now you saw that obviously last week
when
they covered that. Again, this isn't a football show, but I brought it up in the rundown. They are hilarious together.
Yeah.
And they know it. They also get an all-star cast, basically the who's who of the current NFL. Oh, hey, Russell Wilson, what's up, man? Are you busy tonight? No. Can you come on our show for a bit? Sure. Travis Kelce, can you come hang out for a couple minutes? No problem. Hey, Ray Lewis. Yeah, you know what? I got some time for you. Who in hockey? Who would be like the ultimate? Would it be a play-by-play? Would it be play-by-play in color for like a period?
I think it would just need to be color. I think you have the play-by-play guy, and then you just let the color do his thing.
So who would be? I guess you're right. It would have to be a guy or one person, not a guy. But would be your one person that you would love to have on there for a
Well,
period?
well,
I guess
one
it'd have to
thing,
be like a player, probably, right?
yeah, probably. And I think that's what I like about Peyton so much. Obviously, other than the fact that it turns out that the man with the huge forehead, whose forehead looks like a thumb, has a great personality.
Yeah,
I really love, and he's funny as hell. His bit on Saturday Night Live is one of the best, I think, all time.
Portaloo.
The Portaloo, yeah, playing football with the kids, just hitting them in the
So
back
good.
and stuff.
Just
I love the way that he breaks down plays. Like I just love it. He puts it into words that a regular person can understand, and it's like, yeah, I know more about football now. So if I had to think of a guy, that would be, I could probably think of two guys that I'd like to see for different reasons. So
okay.
one would be a color guy, would be Sean Avery. I think Sean Avery would be great for color. I think he would tell it like it is. I think when he doesn't like a player, he's not afraid to say. I love that he's so sarcastic, and he's kind of a shithead.
Yeah.
So I think that Sean Avery would be a good one, because he's still young enough to have clout, probably in the league, where he's still noted as a super annoying person.
Sure.
And also respected. There's players out there who respect Sean Avery, but just would never say it.
Totally.
And the other guy is obvious to me, and I think to you too, and that's probably Kevin Bieksa, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Juice, for the same reason. He's also very sarcastic. His jokes are always on point. The guy's got great style. I could listen to him talk all day long. And I know for a fact that he's still a respected guy in the NHL. And I love the way that he breaks stuff down too. I think that's a great segment on Hockey Night in Canada when he's on there.
Yeah.
And I would pay money to see a guy like Kevin Bieksa play color on Canucks games.
I think the great thing is you can almost, I think specifically with Juice, you almost respect what he's doing currently more because it's on the national level, because we kind of get to enjoy him on our like fuzzy little treat, right? But he's ripping on everybody.
Right.
It's not just like, he has a special place in his heart for the Canucks, and we've seen that plenty of times.
Yeah, he's like Russell Peters, right? He hates everybody equally.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, like he is so, and I mean, he's a smart guy to begin with, college grad and from Bowling Green, like super smart dude, but he knows the game so well. And especially as a defenseman, right? Like he's seeing so much of the game ahead of what's going on. So he's kind of seeing it as it begins. He's so much fun to watch. And we all agree on this. This is national stuff. Everybody gets it. But I think I would go one position behind him. And I was thinking you're going to go with this guy. Roberto Luongo would be.
Oh yeah.
And I know we're stuck. We see all these Canucks guys, and they're probably, I was thinking like maybe like a kind of like a Ray Bourque or something, but I just don't think the personality would be there to really give you like the guts of it. I mean, Marty Brodeur might actually be pretty interesting. I think just goalies themselves are just, there's a lot. Like we listen to the Kelly Rudies, we listen to Cheech, right? I think one day Marc-Andre Fleury could be a great analyst. Because these, all these French guys too, right? Like they've got so much personality. But I mean, Roberto,
they got that flair, right?
Yeah, but I think with Roberto, and especially like he's probably going to be GM one day. He's so funny, but witty as well, and he was a student of the game. Like he definitely understands everything that's going on around him, which is why he's getting groomed to do probably Florida's GM job one day. Maybe the Canucks, who knows? But he would be interesting to listen, because I'm sure he'll have a funny story, but he's also going to be able to break down some play as well.
Yeah, you nailed it on the goalie thing, right? I mean, there's a bunch of goalies who you could list who are big personalities down the road who you could see covering games, and I can't remember the goaltender's name who took over for Brad May in Vegas. You got guys like McKenna, you got guys like Darren Pang, you got guys like Kevin Weeks. I mean, Kelly Rudy, they're everywhere, right? And they're respected guys, and they understand the game, and they always seem to be really good on air.
PK Subban is another guy.
Yeah, I like PK.
He would be, again, vibrant dude. He's got a lot to say. Again, a smart guy. Like he knows hockey. he'd be able to break down another defenseman, right?
Did you see his comments just recently?
I saw him like getting ready to train, and there was like an infinity pool.
He still believes he's one of the top defenders in the NHL. He's going to come back with a vengeance.
Hey, man, all the power to you. But
you have to believe, though, right? I mean,
you basically do until he proves that he isn't,
mm-hmm.
which could be in like the first week of the season. But yeah, I mean, PK's had a good career, and hasn't gotten that Stanley Cup. But there's a lot of guys that haven't. He's done some pretty impressive things. He's definitely represented Canada well, and
and that hit on Marchand.
Yeah, I think all of Canada appreciates stuff like that. So, you know what? This has been fun. Let's cut her short. I mean, 55 minutes isn't exactly short. So we do have training camp this week. It's always short, but at the same time, that's okay too. Preseason starts on Sunday. Hockey's so back. I can't wait. I just miss hockey. I'm not blogging this year for Canucks Army. I'll be doing stuff on the Blendale Network as we have our shows. But it's going to be nice to just watch games and then talk about it once a week instead of being like 100% invested in every single game and needing to have like a write-up and all that. Like, I'm happy. I get to enjoy this specific season a little bit more. And I'm speaking personally. I'm speaking a little selfishly on that. But I get to enjoy it kind of like a lot of other people have. And just like, if I miss the game, I miss the game. There's, I don't have to be up till 1 a.m. making sure that, I've got something to talk about for next game. I'm going to miss that. But at the same time, I get to enjoy this season for what it is, a Canucks season. And I haven't been able to do that for a long, long time. So very excited.
Before we break, what players are you looking forward to seeing in training camp?
Well,
and for what reason?
I would like to see a bit of Madison Bowie, to be honest. I just want to know if there's anything there. I think that's one player. I think I'd like to also, most of on defense, I would say Tucker Poolman. I'd like to just see him play. Jack Rathbone obviously is going to be another one. He's going to have a good shot. I wouldn't. Jet Wu, another guy. Like, these are all defense, and I'm not a fan of defensemen, and yet I am for some reason. The big one obviously is like Podkolzin.
You got another ex-Rocket in there too, and Devontae Stevens. Just throwing that out there.
That's true. But
3 ex-Rockets on this roster: Stevens, Meyer, and Bowie.
Do we have Luke Shen again?
Oh yeah, wait, that's 4. You're right. 4 ex-Kelowna Rockets on this roster.
Sick. So yeah, Podkolzin. I think everybody's excited to see him. There's a lot of prospect talk that's going to be happening, and it's exciting. These are some exciting guys to watch. But yeah, on defense, because I think just like any championship team, you need a lot of defensemen, and hopefully enough of these guys show that if they need to call somebody up, hey, I'm glad this guy's getting the shot. Hey, I'm glad this guy's getting the shot. And just to see where we're at with DiPietro, what is Halak going to look like? We're not really going to see much in the preseason, but maybe a little bit of Demko. But I'm just happy to see the Canucks back. It's that one thing in me, like, we were talking fantasy football last night, and I don't know what it is. I love fantasy football. I change gears, but the Canucks are still in my heart. They're still there. I can't get rid of them. And I'm so excited. I really, really am. This show is going to be a lot more fun when we're complaining about who's on the third line and who's on the first power play. Those sorts of things where we really just break down the minutia stuff. And I can't wait. It's time, man. Like, it's the fall. This is the best time of the year. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
Any final words for yourself?
I think training camp wise, I want to see how far progress has come along for a bunch of guys like, I want to see how much more of a player Höglander is. I want to see, what a guy like Lockwood has done over the offseason. Same with a guy like Gadjevich, right? I want to see if any of these guys has taken a step. You mentioned, Jet Wu, a guy who had a good first season, kind of somewhat of a depleted AHL roster.
Yeah.
So I do really want to see those guys and where they've gone and if they're going to take a next step. In terms of like out of nowhere players, Brady Keeper is a guy that I want to see, and he's like a tough, hard-nosed defenseman. See what he does, because it's a guy that we could eventually go watch in Abbotsford, right?
Totally.
But then if we're gonna go all the way back, just like randos, obviously we're excited for Puck Colson, but I'm also excited to see a guy like Plessic, who we haven't seen yet, and then I'll throw out a guy like Klimovich.
He's been getting a lot of talk, hey?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what kind of player this is. He's one of these like classic boom bust style picks, even though I think he's going to have some sort of a pro career no matter what. But I mean, here's a guy, from what we've heard, he's almost got this Bo Jackson thing going on, where there's a bit of a mystery or a myth about what kind of player he is and how good he can be. So I would like to see what Klimovich does too, that he's going to be out here competing against some pro players. So excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see. We can't forget that Brady's going to be out covering these guys tomorrow. So
follow Brady, guys. Follow Brady. I know you all follow the Fabers of the world, and I mean, Canucks Army is going to give you great content. They always do. But Brady's going to be in Abbotsford tomorrow or today if you're listening. Check him out. He's got stuff, and support these people. This is the next wave of journalism. So.
There you go. So, Brady, we want scouting reports on all these dudes we just mentioned, and we'll get a show together to talk about what you saw when we're out there.
Absolutely. So, that's basically it. On behalf of my good friend Ted, who's at home with his wicked setup, his Blue Jays shirt, and his Cleveland Browns pillow in the far, far, far left. I'm Ryan.
Shout out to your Trey Croner shirt there.
Yeah, Johnny Canuck.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan. I have a family pillow in the background. #family pillow. This is the PP1 podcast on the Dean Blundell Network. Peace out.